You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. Inside Carmichael Arena, Senior Day has arrived for the great one, Paris Key. North Carolina and NC State in a rematch of two teams that squared off just 3 weeks ago. And two teams right now projected in the field of 68, according to ESPN Bracketologist Charlie Cream. Emotions are running high. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. And a great afternoon for college basketball. Great to have you with us as well. The ACC standings right now, NC State at 10-3 in the conference, North Carolina at 8-6 as they renew this rivalry once again here inside Carmichael Arena. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, great to have you with us, and away we go. Great time of year, Deb.
This is great, isn't it? We're getting closer to March. This game has so much importance for both these teams. It's a wonderful rivalry on Tobacco Road, and I can't wait to see the best out of both clubs.
Well, Paris Key has had a phenomenal senior season. Her last 8 games, she's been even more impressive, perhaps, than the start of her final campaign. And she obviously wants to play well. She told us earlier, hey, I'm a little nervous for my final home game.
She's a great player. She's a hard-working kid for Sylvia Hatchell. She's had a fantastic senior campaign, and you're right. Look at those 20 points over the last 8. She makes everything work for them. She's going to have to get on the glass a little bit. North Carolina is playing without Stephanie Watts, one of their top scorers. So Paris Key will have a little more responsibility in every area of their play today. But the matchup, Roy, that you want to keep your eye on inside is Elisa Cunane, the 6'5" freshman for the Wolfpack, and Janelle Bailey, the 6'4" sophomore for North Carolina. So these two players in the post playing the center position go about it a little bit differently. Cunane has the ability to stretch. She's a little bit longer. She runs the floor hard. Bailey is more of a grind it, block to block, pound, put a physical hurting on you today. And that's the way I expect that matchup to go. And Bailey's coming off a career-high 31 in the last game.
Bailey with 11 double-doubles this season as well. Underway, the opening tap controlled by NC State, dressed in the black uniforms. As Leslie's off the mark with a putback good for the Pack. And Dee Rogers has NC State on the board first.
Well, both coaches point to rebounding, about how important this game will be in terms of controlling tempo and dictating the kind of pace that you want to play.
Bailey inside, too strong. Wolfpack control. NC State got off to a 21-0 mark this season. First loss against these Tar Heels 3 weeks ago.
NC State's had a phenomenal year. Wes Moore, the head coach, is down 4 players to ACL, 3 starters, and still has had success this year.
Shayla Bennett, the basket from downtown. Carolina with its first advantage. Just underway here in Chapel Hill. It was cold outside driving in today. Kind of dark and dreary. Not what you expect for Paris Key senior day. Off the glass. Count it. Wolfpack back in front by Crutchfield.
Well, look at the beautiful pink in here today. It's a Play for K game. And of course, we'll get a chance to talk about Sylvia Hatchell and her relationship with the great Kay Yow and what wonderful friends they were. 2 Naismith Basketball Hall of Famers.
In and out. Cunane off the mark.
Both teams starting out in man-to-man. And you'll watch NC State. They'll play a low possession game. They'll expect to execute. They don't have the depth that North Carolina has.
Sweet look inside the basket. Dee Rogers. She's got 4.
What a great slip to the bucket. A terrific read. You lift the weak side. You have no help. You have an open lane to the basket.
Tar Heels back to work. A foul inside.
Oh, wow. If that foul is against Cunane, you can see that is not a good way for the Wolfpack. They needed to be a little more physical inside because they don't have a lot of depth, especially in the middle.
Well, you had Coach Hatchell talking this morning about all sorts of things. Her early adventures in her career, both as a coach and even away from basketball. She's telling us how she was a screen printer. 3 balls good. Cunane.
Sylvia Hatchell told us a lot of things about jobs she's had, that she used to have a video service company. She can do plumbing, electrician. She can build a house if she had to.
And a foul inside. It'll go back to the Pack. Wes Moore, year number 6. His team off with 23-3 start. as Kunin picked up her first personal. You see the winning percentage, very impressive.
Done a phenomenal job for NC State. 12 times he's been a coach of the year, twice in the ACC in 2014 and 17.
And Leslie attacking. Foul go against Leah Church. That's her first.
This game's going to be about matchups. You know, can you push and transition and get the mismatch that you want? Can you take advantage and recognize when you have different abilities defensively? That's what NC State, part of their game plan, right here. So Leslie last time drives Church because she knows she can beat her off the bounce. This time she gets the matchup with Bailey, who can't guard her off the bounce either. That's what I'm talking about, Roy.
That's what we like. Her older brother, of course, started at NC State, C.J. Leslie, earlier this decade. Just looking up how long ago he played. Back in 2010. It didn't seem like it was that long ago. It just means I'm getting old.
Yeah, me too. I remember covering C.J. at NC State.
5 to shoot. Heels got to hurry. 2 on the shot clock, and a desperation heave results in free throws. Kunin will go to the stripe to shoot a pair.
That's not a foul that Dee Rogers needs to commit. One of the things that you'll hear Wes Moore say a lot to his team is allow them to miss. Kunin is a right-handed player. You make her put the ball on the floor. She's going to her left hand. Let her miss that shot. Don't foul her and put her to the line. She's too good of a free throw shooter.
Almost 80% this season.
Had a nice conversation with Taylor before the game as well. She was ready to play today. Not surprised to see her get off to a quick start.
Kunin just a junior. She's got 5 points.
Zoned by the Tar Heels.
Wolfpack back to work, dealing with all sorts of injury issues this year. Off the glass and a late whistle. Free throws upcoming for Kunin. So the foul goes against Bailey, Debbie. That's her first.
Well, this play right here should give Elisa Kunin some confidence. And the reason why I say that is because Bailey's big and strong. And if you can get to your left shoulder at 6'5", she's highly skilled. Look at the play inside. Gets to that left shoulder with that little half hook. She gets fouled. She's a very good free throw shooter.
1 of 2 at the line. And the Wolfpack by a point. More than 3 minutes in here inside Carmichael. It's amazing NC State has gotten off to this kind of start despite losing 4 players, including 3 starters to injuries this year. Basket does not count, traveling as Bailey turns it over.
Wes Moore's done a Coach of the Year kind of job, Roy. I mean, absolutely, I agree with you. He loses his starting point guard at the beginning of the season. And then 3 injuries during the course of the year, yet they continue to find a way. The next player is ready to play. Next man up, right?
Next man up. You hear it oftentimes in sports. It's cliche-ish, but it makes sense. Wild shot for Bailey, and the rebound controlled by Dee Rogers.
Watch Kunin work hard to get position inside. She will run ahead of the basketball. She has the ability to make Janelle Bailey really run in this matchup.
Wolfpack turn it over, back to Carolina. Their first. You remember senior day and the emotions back
Sure.
in your career? Because you and I have covered so many basketball games, any kind of games over the years, and it just seems to mean something different to so many different players. What do you remember?
Well, I just remember thinking how much I loved my teammates and how much I could believe that 4 years had gone by so quickly. You try to make the most of it, and you hope players do that today.
Key off the bounce, nicely done.
See, Paris Key won't remember how many points she scored or what she did in her career here, but she'll remember this day and did they win or not.
Right. There's Koenig. Rogers thinking about it. And back to North Carolina. Well, Paris said she was a little nervous. I mean, I would be too if I've got a bobblehead in the stands, right? I mean,
Right.
that's a pretty cool little deal to have on senior day.
It's a great bobblehead, too. Sylvia Hatchell was so proud of it. She was so excited for Paris to be honored that way. Of course, Coach Hatchell had her bobblehead last week.
Open look, top of the key, in and out. And a rebound.
Really good box out by Crutchfield.
Minutes in, a one-point game. Final home game this season for North Carolina. Here's Key, already with 2, make it 4.
So she sets up
And a steal.
Yeah, great play right there. And that is something that Wes Moore talked to his team about yesterday. I sat in film session with Wes Moore, and this very play by Paris Key is exactly what he told his team to watch out for. Paris Key sets up this 3 by her ability to play off the bounce. On a closeout, she can score as well, Roy. This is a terrific offensive player for North Carolina.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's new Made to Crave menu, available at participating restaurants now. And Dove Men Plus Care. Care makes a man stronger.
Some great imagery of Paris Key growing up. Greensboro, North Carolina native here on senior day back inside Carmichael Arena. Carolina out to a 12-9 advantage over NC State. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott back in Chapel Hill off the turnover and foul. Key with one more coming. She's got 5.
I can't imagine a start to senior day going any better for Paris Key than the way she started off this afternoon.
Hill's resume right now projected as an 8 seed according to Charlie Cream, and some very impressive wins, not a lot of bad losses this year, Debbie.
I think they have an outstanding resume, and they're non-conference. You see UCLA and Rice, both tournament teams. Rice already clinched the Conference USA. VCU and Maine are 2 teams on the top of their respective leagues. They beat them earlier. The 2 losses, Colorado and Pitt, are tough losses, but I think the win over Notre Dame and the win against NC State cancel those out.
Key from downtown off the mark. The win over the Irish was one that really just captivated the country.
And don't forget, the ACC has the #1 RPI. This has been the strongest league all season.
You and I were talking pregame. That means something, and maybe a lot of fans don't realize that significance at this point.
Yeah, when you're talking about 9 teams potentially making the NCAA tournament out of the ACC, Charlie Cream has 8, but Georgia Tech is a team that's considered one of the last 4 out. I think they have a resume that will be discussed by the committee.
After the air ball by Jones, NC State back to work, and the rebound for Coonan. And back to the pack. It is a fun time of year to try to figure out who's going where, who's the #1 seed from which conference. A lot of those conversations being had, obviously, as we get closer to March.
I love this time of year. You know, we come off the Play for K weeks, and we're going right into the conference tournaments, right into the NCAA.
Leslie, a strong drive.
I think there's more parity in the women's game than we've had before. Very unclear on the top line who the #1 seeds are. That makes it exciting for the fans.
And I've talked about this a lot this year. I know you have as well. I mean, there are as many as 6 or 7, maybe 8 teams that are capable of winning it all this season.
I think so. I think that's going to make the tournament that much more fun, but puts that much more pressure on the committee to get it right.
Bailey short from bonus land. Here comes the Wolfpack. Can I put you on the spot?
Sure. Of course.
#1.
I expect you to put me on the spot.
The #1 team right now, as Koenig gets her first basket.
The #1 team right now is Baylor in the AP poll. They clinched their 9th consecutive Big 12 championship. They really don't have a challenge in that league. Very similar to what's happened to UConn. They don't have a challenge in their league either. But I think the Fighting Irish have a case for being on the 1 line. I think Louisville has a case for being on the 1 line. And then, of course, Mississippi State and UConn are the other teams right now.
I've seen the Bulldogs a couple of times this year after the 3 ball by Key.
Oregon has suffered back-to-back losses, which they had been on the 1 line. Charlie moved them to the 2. the 2 losses they suffered. They lost Ruthie Hebert in the second half last Sunday to Oregon State, and then she has not played in the last game, and they lost to UCLA. And UCLA was down 22 points and came back against Oregon.
Leslie short with a 3-pointer. Here come the Heels, already leading by 4. Paris Key on senior day has scored the last 9 for UNC. There's Coonan off the mark and retrieved by Leslie. See, that was great about the AP poll and the current projections. I was looking for the DA index, the Debbie Antonelli #1 team. Your personal opinion, that's where I want to put you on the spot.
I think Notre Dame probably has the best resume right now. When you look at the numbers, I say UConn has the best offense. Of the 16 revealed, right? The NCAA reveals the top 16. 9 of the top 16 teams that they revealed all average over 80 points. And there are 2 other teams that are capable of scoring 80 or 90. So I think it's very offensive driven this year. And I think UConn has the best offense, and you can't keep them out of the conversation.
Foul win against Bailey, her second. As you see, who could be the #1 seed? And to your point, a lot of those teams offensively explosive. And the all-important conference RPI is there.
It matters. I mean, you look at the SEC is the 5th overall league, which is surprising to many. The Big Ten at #2.
Leslie has 6. Lead is 2 for Carolina. Under a minute to play in our first quarter, and it's been moving at a brisk pace.
But if there was ever a year where your conference affiliation should matter in terms of seeding, it is this year, because we have an unclear bunch of #1s, right? We're not really clear, and the NCAA is going to have their work cut out for them. I hope they get it right.
3 to shoot. Key off the pump fake. And a shot clock violation. Back to the pack. A great contingent of NC State fans have made the 25-minute drive over from the Riley area here inside Carmichael. That's given us a little boost in atmosphere today, which is always fun.
13 buses made the trip over here from campus. It's very impressive in this rivalry. Of course, you could drive yourself over here too. Stop and have some breakfast on your way over.
3-second differential between the clocks. Koenig thinking about it, launches, and is short. Here's Bennett.
Chance for the last possession here.
The spin.
Too quick.
Crutchfield. Gotta hurry. And a fast-moving first quarter comes to a close here in Chapel Hill. 17-15, Carolina out in front of its rival NC State.
Well, we expect this to be a low-scoring, low-possession slip by Dee Rogers early in the first quarter. And Paris Key is having a senior night.
Tuesday doubleheader returns. #1 Duke, 20th ranked Virginia Tech get things rolling 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll follow that up with #22 Wisconsin and Indiana live from Assembly Hall. Both games on ESPN, also on the ESPN app. Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile. What a time to be alive this time of year as March approaches. Both on the men's and women's side, a lot to be determined. Seeding, the bubble watch is on. I just like saying the word bubble. Can I get away with that? Bubble? It's just fun to say. Neither one of these teams on the bubble, according to ESPN bracketologist Charlie Cream, as we welcome you back here in Chapel Hill. Start of our second quarter. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott. And the Heels going for the season sweep against their rival, their ACC nemesis, NC State.
Well, without Janelle Bailey, the lane should open up. North Carolina going with a smaller lineup on the floor.
Coonan comes up short, and the rebound pops out to Kiera Leslie. NC State right now projected as a 2 seed by ESPN bracketologist Charlie Cream. That one pops out, and it'll stay on this end.
Big game tomorrow night in the ACC, I should mention. Beyond the Air with Notre Dame at Syracuse on the women's side. Should be a big game. We'll see if the Cuse can get a quality win. Notre Dame looks like they're playing as best as they've played all year. I had them on Monday night against NC State. Boy, they can really transition. They are fast up the floor.
So athletic. The 3 ball by Koenig is good, and NC State back out in front by 1.
Yeah, Ace Koenig has not been able to shake free for very many looks. That's her first field goal attempt. Excuse me, that's her third field goal attempt.
Off the turnover. Koenig. Little stop and pop. Shayla Bennett, South Carolina native, directing traffic.
Good D.
We've seen a lot of zone. We've seen some man from NC State. Off the bounce, here's Jocelyn Jones, who turns it over.
That will be the fourth Tar Heel turnover, and Sylvia Hatchell's club doesn't have any offensive rebounds, and without Janelle Bailey, it's going to be really important for them to move the ball and look to attack the gaps against NC State. Without their depth, you have to put some pressure on NC State. Make them defend.
Bailey with 2 personals on the bench to start this second quarter. Crutchfield wanted it. Outstanding defense by the senior Key. 9 to shoot. Off the glass, Kayla Jones can't finish. Coonan off the mark.
Yeah, Leslie unsure about what she wanted to do. Paris Key doing a good job getting back in transition. And NC State has to be really careful about making this go up and down too much just because of their lack of depth. Westmore really only plays 6. And we've seen he's had to go deeper into his bench now with Ezra McGoldrick getting some minutes. She had a good game against Wake Forest in the last outing.
And a career high 10 in that matchup. Bailey off the mark as she just checked back in.
With those 2 fouls, let's see if NC State takes advantage of that and goes right inside.
And they'll work it inside. A basket. Coonan.
Good pass inside by the freshman McGoldrick, who's a 6'2" player who can really shoot it.
It's been the Paris Key show so far. Shayla Bennett connects from downtown. She's got 6, and she really has been playing better basketball in the last couple of weeks. She's led North Carolina in scoring 4 different occasions this year. Junior college transfer. And the response by Crutchfield.
Now that's a big basket for that young lady's confidence. North Carolina's got to locate the shooters on the perimeter.
Here's Bailey. Nifty move inside, can't finish. And Jones off the mark as well, but gets it back. Coonan.
Really great hustle.
She's got 7. Carolina back within 1, 4 minutes into our second quarter.
That's Jocelyn Jones. Was out here early getting some shots up, making a nice hustle play for North Carolina. Again, Jones with another read from the weak side. Good help on the post.
Coonan was stripped. 6th turnover now for NC State. Quiet start in the second quarter for the senior Paris Key, who's been honored a bobblehead and also a pregame ceremony. She'll go back to work in the post here. Beautiful spin. And a pass outside to Bailey, drops it down to the top of the key.
A little inverted offense there. Point guard to the post, back out top. Nice job to be ready on the catch by Bailey.
Bailey with the 2 personals, now has her first bucket. Koenig off the bounce.
And Koenig's got to stick that, coming off that ball screen action. She knows that Bailey's not going to step up and head. She's going to be open for that.
Open look for Bennett, connected from downtown moments ago, not here, and chased down by Bailey.
I don't know about that one.
Well, you got a big, and she hits the shot top of the key just moments ago. Not really known as a 3-point shooter, just 26% from bonus land.
She's more of a trail three. The corner three, I wouldn't say would be Bailey's shot, but if it was from the top of the key, I think she has the green light. Really nice seal inside.
We'll stay on this in a fresh 30 halfway through our second quarter. 4:48 to go here in our first half. Carolina by 1 here at home.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Vicks.
Well, Big Monday returns tomorrow in a critical matchup for number 12 Kansas. Jayhawks have won 14 consecutive Big 12 regular season championships, and arch rival K-State would like nothing more to help snap that streak. Tomorrow at 9, Big Monday returns, 8 Central on ESPN, also the ESPN app. One of the most incredible streaks in college basketball history is KU has clinched a share or the outright Big 12 championship for all
Incredible.
of those seasons, right?
I know, 14 in a row is amazing. Really, I mean, you think about, we talk about Kim Mulkey at Baylor winning 9 in a row. I think that's phenomenal. To do that on the men's side with what Bill Self has been able to do, it's amazing.
Step back by Leslie off the mark. Carolina back to work with a 1-point advantage.
Janelle Bailey with those 2 fouls showing a lot of patience offensively, being smart on the defensive end.
She got the rebound off the Church miss. We'll stay on this end.
Leah Church is a 3-point shooter for North Carolina. You have to know where she is. In her career, she has 53 made threes and 2 twos. That's it. Her whole career.
See, if I played college basketball, that would be
That's you, right?
That would be my MO. That would be all that I would do. I'm shooting threes. Paris Key on cue. Count it.
Paris Key's lighting it up today.
12 points so far on senior day.
Hasn't forced anything, very patient, lets it all come to her. You'd think her emotions would be running a little bit high, but not at this point in the game. You start to settle in.
And you love the Stars to let the game come to them. Koldrick off the mark. North Carolina in the midst of a 7-0 run. Bennett. Now we had one official rule of traveling.
Yep.
The other called a foul. They're going to say that's a turnover. Mark Hardcastle, Jules Gallion.
It's a good job by the officials to come together.
Sure. 3.5 to go. In the first half in Chapel Hill. Same 2 teams played 3 weeks ago.
NC State doesn't have good spacing right now.
It's the Carolina zone. Here's Koenig. Off the bounce and the glass.
See, that's smart. See, Koenig runs a lot of that ball screen offense in the shoot for North Carolina. The free throw lane extended. She is tough to defend off all that action because she's so smart and she reads. She might not be quick and explosive, but she can flat out light it up.
Under 3 to play. Out of bounds, back to State. The 7th North Carolina turnover.
Watch Ace Koenig come off this ball screen right here. You get Bailey, you got Leah Church trailing. Beautiful off the glass. There's no space to make that pass. I have no idea how she caught that.
Middle of a triple team. Right under the basket. Koldrick turns it over. Here comes Jocelyn Jones.
Look how quickly Leslie recovers.
That was going up with Key. Instead, Bailey can't finish.
Yeah, if you let Bailey get to that left shoulder, she is really tough to defend with that size.
Leslie attacking. One of the whistle, no call, gets it back. And a late whistle there. As Bennett picks up the personal, her first, and free throws upcoming.
Kiara Leslie is, along with Paris Key, 2 WNBA prospects that are big-time prospects, right? Their draft stock during the course of the season has risen for both of them. And they both are a little bit different. You know, Paris is a little bit more of a natural point guard, a little more shifty. But Kiara Leslie is strong. She's athletic. She's a great finisher. She can shoot the three. She handles. She rebounds. She's had a heck of a year as well.
Started every game this season. Kiara Leslie, native of Holly Springs, North Carolina. 1 of 2 at the line there. She's got 7 points today. Jones will check out. Coonan back in for Carolina. Tar Heels by 1, under 2 to play in our first half.
Good D. And a deflection.
Murray from downtown, off the mark.
NC State doing enough to disrupt North Carolina on that possession.
And back to the Tar Heels.
And Wes Moore looks at his senior and goes, why?
Yeah.
Why would you make that pass? There's no chance, very little probability of catching that.
No, Debbie, you and I were talking about NC State's resume. Yeah, there's injuries, obviously, that Wes Moore has had to deal with this season in year number 6 in Raleigh. But boy, the overall resume is so impressive, and right now projected as a 2 seed, according to Charlie Creme. Curious to see if that can hold up with the upcoming schedule, pending the result today, of course, plus those injuries. As Key will shoot 2, and you see the resume, 10-3 in the conference.
Well, here's the thing for Wes Moore. His schedule's backloaded. They don't have any bad losses. They've beaten the teams that've been on their schedule, okay? They have to play Miami and Louisville. Those are the 2 remaining. Those are 2 tough opponents that they have to, after playing this game and a team that beat them earlier this year. So I think Wes Moore has done an incredible job. I think along with Katie Meyer at Miami and along with Amanda Butler at Clemson, those are and Muffet McGraw and Jeff Walls. I mean, it's an incredible race this year for the Coach of the Year. I can't wait to see how the vote comes out.
The job Amanda Butler has done in Tigertown, sensational. 3 wins over ranked opponents. Debbie, you go back 17 years, and Clemson hadn't tallied that many victories against ranked opposition. In that entire time, they've done it in just a couple of months this campaign. Under a minute to play and a whistle. Foul against NC State. And McGoldrick picks up her first.
Yeah, McGoldrick getting extra minutes here. She scored a total of 21 points this season. She had 10 in the last game against Wake Forest. Well, she's got 3-point range. She just hasn't been able to get her feet set.
Off the inbounds, State takes over. Just 1 for its last 8 from the floor. And here's Koenig. Speaking of Charlie Creme, coming up at halftime, we'll give you the latest from ESPN's bracketologist. He's down in the bracket bunker this time if you're trying to figure all this stuff out as results start pouring in today once again.
I bet Charlie Creme has a nice bunker in Las Vegas.
10-second differential between the clocks. High ball screen for Bennett. 4 to shoot. And fouled from behind on the penetration.
Wes Moore's team uncharacteristically has committed some fouls that they typically don't for a team that doesn't play up the line and overplay. Part of the reason why they can't be a pressure defensive team is because they don't have the depth to do it. So they have to work hard at keeping everybody in front.
ESPN and the ACC will bring you the ACC Network in August. 15 universities, 1 network. Visit getaccin.com to learn more. As North Carolina extends its lead to 3. Shot clock is off. Less than 14 seconds to go here in our second quarter.
I would put Koenig in that ball screen action in the shoot area and let her come off that and attack. Instead, she rejects the screen.
And the runner is short just before the horn. So an interesting first 20 minutes in the books in this rivalry, Debbie.
Paris Key, terrific first half. In the absence of Stephanie Watts, who's not available to play today for Sylvia Hatchell with a knee injury, But Westmore's team, I'd say they got the shots they want. I thought their execution was just off a beat. They're going to have to do a better job of not fouling and putting North Carolina to the line and being able to make some of the shots that they've been able to get through their offensive execution.
Ace Koenig, 7 points to lead NC State. Wolfpack trailing by 3, but the big story, Paris Key, 12 points in the first half to pace Carolina, looking for the season sweep against its arch rival. Stay tuned, the halftime report coming up after this break. Welcome back inside Carmichael Arena. You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. The start of our third quarter on Senior Day here in Chapel Hill, and Carolina shoots just 30% in the first 2 quarters, but yet has a 3-point advantage here at the break. Well, the importance of this game cannot be stated enough in this broadcast. Carolina at 8-6, NC State 10-3, but North Carolina victorious just 3 weeks ago over in Raleigh in the 2 teams' first encounter this season. And NC State right now projected as a 2 seed, according to ESPN bracketologist Charlie Cream. North Carolina as an 8 seed. And always a fun time of year to talk about projections in the upcoming tournament. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, great to have you with us. Not necessarily courtside, but with a nice view of the arena. Tell you what, 2 quarters in the books, an interesting start here in Chapel Hill.
You know, I don't think either team shot the ball exceptionally well, but this is a very competitive game. It's just what you think a rivalry game would be. You know, punch, counter punch. Bailey picks up 2 fouls. Sylvia Hatchell rolls the dice, puts her back in. NC State doesn't take advantage of it. I think Dee Dee Rogers gets 2 fouls for NC State, forcing them to get deeper into their bench. It's a 1-possession game. Dee Dee Rogers is going to come back. So, you know, this is the way you kind of expect at this time of year. Both coaches working really hard to put their players in the best position here to finish out the next 20.
Well, it's Senior Day here in Chapel Hill. Paris Key's gotten off to a great start. The lone senior on the floor for Carolina. 12 first half points. It really set the tone midway through that first quarter with a couple of key baskets.
Well, Paris Key hits a couple of triples, and then that sets up her ability to do this. Score on a closeout. She's very explosive off the bounce. She's very good going left or right. She sets up her cuts. She sets up her ability with space, with her great footwork, and she's having what you would hope a senior would have, a big game on their last game in Carmichael Arena.
As she told us before, Tiff, she was a little nervous coming in here for the final time, but the bobbleheads in the stands, I think, have settled her down quite nicely. What a career she has had. Over 1,500 points in 3 seasons here at Carolina. Well, for the Wolfpack, Ace Koenig got things going. A couple of early shots to get NC State in position in this. We're going to need more from her in the final 2 quarters.
Yeah, hands down. Koenig sees rim. She's going to shoot it. I mean, she's very good off the bounce. She shoots the 3 exceptionally well. And then Kiara Leslie does everything well for NC State. Good driver, good slasher, great 3-point shooter, good finisher in transition. Both of these guards in the backcourt for NC State are going to need to put up a big number here on the road in a low possession game.
Pair of 7s for Koenig and Leslie, just about set, ready to go for the start of our third quarter. We mentioned it earlier as well, an important game for the Wolfpack as a 2 seed, but with a very difficult schedule upcoming, including this second half on the road at North Carolina. A chance to try to strengthen that resume a little bit further as we get closer to Selection Monday. Underway, 3-point lead for the Tar Heels as NC State, the opening possession of our third quarter.
Cooting guarding Leslie.
Crutchfield attacking off the glass and a chance for 3.
A good adjustment by Westmore right off the half. They're going to attack Leah Church, who's playing in substitution for Stephanie Watts, who's not available today with a knee injury. This is Crutchfield. She's not the first, second, or third option offensively on the floor, but you build confidence in the locker room, and you tell Crutchfield you are going to take this ball off the bounce right at Leah Church in the first possession.
And second foul on Church. Crutchfield has 7, already 2 points above her season average. Tar Heels projected as an 8 seed according to Charlie Cream, as Bennett off the bounce is triple team. And she traveled. Outstanding defense by the Pack.
Yeah, good help from the weak side. A little bit of an over penetration by Bennett. And I'm sure Sylvia Hatchell has the same idea. Let's get into the bench of NC State again and try to put some fouls on them on the defensive end by attacking them off the bounce.
8 turnovers now for North Carolina. NC State with a thin bench because of all the injuries this year. 3 starters have been lost to season-ending injuries. And inside, Cunane, the basket, she's got 5.
2 possessions, 2 buckets for the Wolfpack. Much better execution to start the second half.
And that 3-point advantage now has been erased. And Bailey was fouled from behind.
Okay, that's not a foul that Elisa Cunane should be committing right there. That's 2 soft personal fouls she's picked up in the Bailey matchup. I mean soft like soft.
Super soft.
Yeah.
Carolina had a field goal since the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. That'll change as Bailey picks up her second basket.
And that could change the dynamic of the game, because now if I'm North Carolina, I'm going to get Janelle Bailey on a post-up every time down the floor and try to attack Cunane.
And Crutchfield called for the offensive foul. That'll be her second.
Watch Bailey right here. Cunane just picked up the second foul, and Bailey just goes to work.
Bailey, just a sophomore, center out of Charlotte. Bright future she has on cue. Connects with a baseline jumper. So she's got 6, Debbie, and now finding a nice rhythm in the second half. Tar Heels back in front. Off the bounce, and the roll by Rogers.
Yeah, that's the Dee Dee Rogers play right there. Wes Moore can draw that up at any time against any opponent in the ACC, and Dee Dee can score on that play.
Coonan fouled, attacking the basket. She'll shoot a pair.
So Wes Moore wants to know, how come Dee Dee Rogers didn't get called, pick up a foul on this end of the floor? When she drove to the basket, there was a little contact. I agree with you, Wes.
Like he was inventing a new dance there for a moment.
I don't think Wes has any rhythm, so I wouldn't use Wes Moore and dance in the same sentence. Unless it was March Madness dancing.
It's the 3rd foul on Rogers. So Dee Dee has 3, Crutchfield with 2 for NC State. Leslie on the other end draws the contact. Shayla Bennett picks up her second. And that'll put Leslie at the stripe. 71% there this season.
You are not going to knock Kiara Leslie off her line when she's driving to the hole. I mean, she's going on a straight line, and she can absorb the contact and also get the and one most times when she's that close to the rim.
Leading scorer for NC State, almost 16 per game this season. Couple of free throws there. Wolfpack back in front. Leslie has 9 this afternoon. And one of the big stories today, Stephanie Watts out of this contest after hyperextending her knee. Poured in 20 points in that upset win in Raleigh earlier this month.
Really good job moving your feet.
4 to shoot. Bennett, a little catch and shoot off the mark.
Well, really good ball movement by Tar Heels that time. Just didn't get the shot to fall. That's a transition opportunity for Leslie.
Mid-range misfire. Here comes Carolina. 3 minutes into our 3rd quarter.
You want to be really careful about this tempo right here if you're NC State. Because if they can't set their defense, they don't have time to scheme against Bailey. And that one-on-one matchup right now, Bailey's getting the advantage on the freshman, Cunane.
She's got 6 points in this 3rd quarter to pace the Tar Heels, who lead it by 1. Crutchfield thought about it. 10 on the shot clock. Leslie, the step back from 16, an air ball. And a shot clock violation.
Yeah, jump shots the last 2 possessions for NC State when they have had success driving the basket, to the basket. Dee Dee Rogers, Kiara Leslie. Got to be smart right here if you're NC State.
Looking for Bailey, contact, a whistle.
Listen, Bailey sold that one now. I'm telling you right now, that is a sales job by an experienced post player. Watch this play right here. That is all upper body movement. That is not displacement by her feet.
Third on Cunane, and that was an interesting call, top of the key. Cunane off the mark. Here comes the whoop back. Nearly halfway through our third quarter. Rogers hit the deck and a foul against Carolina. That'll go against Church, her third.
We're going to be shooting a lot of free throws here at the end of through this quarter.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Both teams will be in the bonus on the next foul.
Yeah, Carolina's already there. Jocelyn Jones will check back in. Leah Church to Sylvia Hatchell's bench. A lot of contact, a lot of whistles in this third quarter. Koenig off the mark. Here's Bennett, 3-on-2. And the dump off results in a turnover.
A good hustle by Ace Koenig, because she's short on the triple, and she is as good a shooter in the ACC as there is. She is a textbook and has the ability to self-correct. I talked about it with her yesterday in practice. I think she's that confident in her shooting ability, but she made a nice defensive play on the other end.
NC State in the black and pink, Carolina in the all pink and a little blue. If you're just tuning in. Rebound ripped away by Bailey.
See, I think that time Leslie has to throw it on the block because Dee Dee Rogers had Paris Key on her.
He had 9 in the first quarter, just 3 points since on senior day. Off the mark there.
Advance past the ball.
Koenig left open for a moment and connects.
Way not to give up on the play by Koenig.
Betty, she's now in double figures. An offensive foul on the other end. Back to the whoop back.
Here we go. Ace Koenig picking up her play. 2 big defensive plays in transition by Ace. And a post up by Janelle Bailey all day on the block right now for North Carolina. And Ace Koenig gets her feet under her shoulders. Bottom.
Four ties, 11 lead changes. NC State with a 2-point advantage halfway through our third quarter. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott. Our favorite time of year as we take a look at the blind resume test. And you tell me what intrigues you the most on this graphic before the great reveal.
Well, I know who the first team is.
It's Notre Dame.
Yes. I mean, they've got more top 50 wins than anybody. They play in the hardest league. Okay. They got the overall RPI #1. Yet right now, they're being sent out west to Portland, which I don't think is going to hold. I think they're going to be back in Chicago. The second team and the third team, we're going to come back and show you, Roy, because those are very interesting.
Well, the resumes appear to be similar, yet the teams we think are vastly different in the eyes of college basketball society. Crutchfield is fouled. That was a late whistle. And Kai Crutchfield will shoot 2. So wouldn't you know it, UConn and these NC State Wolfpack right here.
Look at that. Look at the strength of schedule. UConn's league might be the first time that this might catch up with them because the league is #9, okay, overall. There are a lot of leagues in front of them, yet they're considered a 1 seed. It's very interesting conversation, right? Because when you throw the blind resume on it, and I think UConn is, I've said, I already said, they're the best offensive team in college basketball right now. I think they're the hardest to guard. Notre Dame scores a lot of points. They have a high-low game. If you take away their transition and force them to execute, I'd rather take my chances there. UConn in a quarter-court game is really challenging to defend.
NC State with its largest advantage. Here's a steal. Leslie, the bucket, and the Wolfpack extending that lead as Leslie now has 11.
They played a much smarter third quarter here, and For North Carolina, the only player to score in the third quarter is Janelle Bailey. I would continue to go to that matchup.
She has all 6 Carolina points. 7-0 run now for the Wolfpack.
Good job diving to the bucket after she screens.
Against the zone is Short. Jones there to try to clean it up. Cannot do it. And you can feel a different sense of urgency now for NC State. Cunane inside. Gets it back and he'll shoot 2.
See, Bailey's going to be called for that foul, I think, from the floor.
That's her third.
She was sitting on the floor and reached up and committed this foul. Watch right here now. She's trying to draw the charge. She's got, first of all, she's got 2 hands in the back of Cunane, which should be a foul. Okay? Then you see the foul from the floor.
Can't fault the effort trying to swat that basketball out of there at the last second.
If they're going to call the game the way they've called it so far, 2 hands in somebody's back is a foul. Now, I agree not to call that, but I don't think Bailey is going to draw a charge on Cunane, who has probably given up about at least 50 pounds in that matchup.
Cunane now with 6, 1 of 2 at the line there.
And remember, Roy, we started talking at the beginning of the game about that particular matchup to keep your eye on, Bailey and Cunane, that was the most compelling matchup in this game the second time around for these 2 clubs.
Tar Heels won the first matchup 3 weeks ago to the day. 64-51 in Raleigh. Cunane from downtown. An opportunity now for the Pack as Leslie is fouled in transition. So Jocelyn Jones will pick up her second. Pack in the bonus. The 7-point advantage. They really have changed the complexion of this game in the third quarter.
Their execution has been better. Their balance has been better. Sylvia Hatchell's going to call a timeout. I think her team needs it.
42-35 as the Tar Heels talk things over. 3:10 remaining here in the third.
NC State up 7 on a play for Kay. Afternoon in Chapel Hill. Sylvia Hatchell's great friend, Kay Yow, 2 Naismith Hall of Famers. And of course, this is my basketball that I carry around with me, Roy. It's got 3 words on it. These are my 3 power words: build, serve, and power. Build and serve are 2 words that I carry from my time being playing at NC State for Coach Yow. I have a story to tell you about this rivalry about North Carolina. When I was a freshman, I am the only player in the history of NC State basketball to get a technical foul from the bench. And I'll never forget it because it was in this rivalry game. North Carolina didn't make their free throws, didn't score on the out of bounds. NC State won the game. We go to the locker room. Coach Yow appreciates the bench's involvement in the game. Of course, she wasn't talking about me because I didn't play in that game, but I was in the box score. But build is a word that comes from my time with Coach Yow because she taught me to be a builder, be somebody who's constructive. And she was very constructive with that experience with me. I didn't get punished. I wasn't sent to the track. She had a relationship with me, and she knew that I had suffered enough because I had gotten a technical foul from the bench in the game. So I didn't have to go to the track. And, you know, it was a great lesson for me that I like to carry forward and share. Build and serve. She thought service was the best quality of a great leader, and those are 2 qualities that I want to embody in every decision that I make.
Well said. At the basket by Key. Carolina trims the lead to 7. Could have been 4 if that triple would have fallen for Bennett.
The technical foul is also a part of my criteria for why I'm the best non-stat starter in NC State history. 3 years of starting, very few stats.
But you were teed up.
It's a claim that I hope no one else wants or ever aspires to, but that's what I like to say. The best non-stat starter in NC State history. And Sylvia Hatchell is the only coach remaining in the ACC that was a coach when I played.
One more free throw coming for Kayla Jones. Great story.
Well, I don't know if that speaks more about Sylvia and my age or not. I'm sure Coach Hatchell doesn't like me referencing that, but hey, listen, she's done a lot for the game. She's a Naismith Hall of Famer. And when we asked her about this game and about Coach Yow today, she teared up talking about her last moments with Coach Yow before she passed.
And it was an in-depth conversation. She was emotional. recalling the words that A.K. Yao spoke to her that afternoon. They went to Georgia Tech for a road game. She found out about Coach Yao's passing. It was tough to take, not only for her, but for everybody in this community and around the conference. Inside Jones with some separation and a basket. She's got 4.
Fresh legs, sprints up the floor in transition. Westmore counters with Dee Dee Rogers now guarding Janelle Bailey.
And a great turnout. Wolfpack fans here in Chapel Hill. Key inside.
Wow, what a play. What a feed. Terrific basket cut by Paris Key. This is a great job. NC State playing in the gap. Leslie caught behind.
Key has 16. Let's be honest with ourselves as well. If Carolina's going to come back, she's got to play an enormous role in that comeback.
Right. Stephanie Watts not available. Still issue with a knee injury. This is the second game that Watts has missed. And Watts is their best three-point shooter. So around what Janelle Bailey does, Watts usually creates some separation. Watch how NC State's defending in the paint right now. They've got almost every player has a foot in the paint against North Carolina.
The pace in this one has picked up considerably in the last 3 minutes. NC State went on a 10-0 burst to seize control at the end of the third quarter. Koenig, separation. And chased down by Leah Church, who just checked in.
Good hustle by Church. Now you got to watch for Church on the trail 3 right here. She's calling for the ball. I'm gonna pass it to her. She's a better three-point shooter. She's wide open.
Bennett gets it back, may have traveled. And a foul call will put Shayla Bennett at the strike.
I love that Leah Church sprinted up the floor with calling for the ball the whole time. She was getting ready to get her feet ready. So on the catch, she could let it launch.
Third foul against Crutchfield. And Bennett 79% at the line this year. She's perfect today. 2 for 2. Now, Big Monday headed your way tomorrow, and it's an enormous one for number 12 Kansas. They've won 14 straight Big 12 regular season titles. It's on the line again against arch rival K-State. Bruce Weber has the Wildcats now in the top 25. 9 Eastern, 8 Central tomorrow on ESPN, also on the ESPN app. Bennett's got 10. Lead dwindles to just 6. Crowd comes to life here inside Carmichael as State turns it over. Leslie lost her balance.
And Leslie rejects the screen, and the play is for her to come off the screen. I think that's what Westmore is discussing with her right now. She goes away from the screen, and then she slips, and her foot is out of bounds. That's an easy one for the officials.
Keisha Thompson there. The correct call. Shot clock is off. Big possession here at the end of the third. Screen coming for Key against Leslie. Paris Key, the senior, turns it over. Outstanding defense by the Pack.
A little momentum for NC State as North Carolina's cut into that 6-point lead. Ace Koenig in transition, sticking the triple. And the steal by Leslie. A little more out of the backcourt for NC State will be necessary to put this thing away.
Well, Carolina led by 3 at halftime. NC State has seized control with a 9-point advantage in the third quarter. Back inside Carmichael Arena, final 10 minutes upcoming. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott. Tell you what, just 2 weeks from today, Deb, what a scene it's going to be across the ESPN networks. 4 championship games headed your direction starting at noon right here in the ACC, followed by the SEC title game, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12. Let's go.
I can't wait. I mean, this, as we've referenced, is so much fun. It's fun for the fans. It's fun for the players. I don't know how much the coaches enjoy it, but I know I do.
There's no stress really on the broadcasters. It's all on the teams playing, but it's a ton of fun to your point. Kickball. Kira Leslie already the double-double in this one through 3 complete. 8th of the season, 13th of her career, number 11 in pink and black. Been impressive today. A strong third quarter. Paris Key on senior day inside will shoot a pair. That'll be the third on Leslie. So Crutchfield with 3, Kiara Leslie with 3, and Cunane also with 3 personals. A native of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Started out her career at Vanderbilt, transferred, and has had a brilliant career for Sylvia Hatchell here at North Carolina. Has improved her play.
1,500 points in 3 seasons here. That really speaks volumes about her production. And don't look now, Key's got 19 and the lead just 4.
She's a gamer. She plays big in the big games.
Crowd getting loud in Carmichael.
There's a switch for North Carolina State. Yeah.
Step back for Leslie.
Bucket. Bailey's not going to come out and guard that. That's a soft switch by North Carolina. NC State's had that opportunity all game.
Leslie right at her season average. With 16 points. Fight for the loose ball, won by the pack.
That's the second time Kiara Leslie has taken that quick shot in transition from the same spot on the floor.
And that's going to be the 4th personal on Cunane. Six points, 4 fouls for 33 in black.
The first 22 games of the season, Cunane took 7 shots a game off the bench. She's started the last 5 games for NC State, and she's taken 15 shots a game. So today, her role a little bit more diminished on the offensive end because she's been in foul trouble most of the game.
Bennett left open off the switch and buries the triple. She's got 13.
Both these teams go under all that ball screening action, and if you're smart as an offensive player, you can take advantage of it.
1 possession game. Crutchfield can't answer. A rebound by Bailey, and here comes Paris Key. Little shake and bake. And the chance to tie it up. 21 on the board for Paris Key on senior day.
If you're going to commit this foul, you've got to commit it hard so she doesn't get a chance to get it up on the bucket. There's a little bump and a nice job by Paris Key to extend and earn a trip to the free throw line.
4th foul on Crutchfield, a brand new game in Chapel Hill.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's new Made to Crave menu, available at participating restaurants now. And Dove Men Plus Care. Care makes a man stronger.
Well, it's a 12-2 run for Carolina, ignited by the play of senior Paris Key on senior day, her final home game. With bobbleheads in attendance, as are Willie and Swanee Key, her parents, and they were stoked after that last sequence here inside Carmichael Arena. A chance for Paris to tie things up 3 the hard way with this free throw.
Is that her mom showing her pipes off out there?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Carolina trailed by as many as 11 points in this contest. We're now tied for the 5th time today. This has been a lot of fun. An offensive foul, the attempted screen.
Wow. They trying to run Koenig off a double screen on the weak side.
Crutchfield just fouled out.
They're calling Crutchfield for an illegal moving screen.
that's a costly loss of production. Crutchfield with 9 points and 4 rebounds today as she exits. So 2 minutes into our fourth quarter, back where we started, tied at 50.
Dee Dee Rogers on that Bailey matchup. They're going to call her for 3 seconds. That's not all Bailey's fault. She's open. North Carolina's not ready to get her the ball.
Turnover number 13 for Sylvia Hatchell's club. It's a 13-2 run for Carolina. Leslie lost the handle. 12th turnover for the Pack. Key. Why not? Carolina back in front.
Having success all game off the bounce, Paris Key.
Key with 24. The 11th lead change we've had today. An open look. Jones buries a triple.
An unlikely option for NC State late in the game.
And the response, Shayla Bennett.
Here we go, Roy.
Starting to feel like March, Carolina. And they're going to count the basket. Kiara Leslie, a chance for 3. Already with 17 points and another opportunity for the Pack to go back in front.
They've been calling this all game. This little bump right here, that's a foul. Leslie keeps her eyes on the finish.
Second on Coonan. A couple of double nickels on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think Kiara Leslie's game has just been off just a beat. You know, if she missed that free throw, that's typically a place she finishes.
And emotions running high in this rivalry rematch. Same 2 teams met just 3 weeks ago. Carolina, double-digit victory. Bailey spins that one home. She's now in double figures.
That's been a matchup that North Carolina has had in their favor all game.
Pace has picked up tremendously in this fourth quarter. From the corner, Kayla Jones again.
Oh my goodness, Kayla Jones back-to-back triples for the Wolfpack. She only had 12 coming into the season.
10 points off Wes Moore's bench.
12 coming into this game, sorry.
Church wanted the whistle, didn't get it. It'll stay on this end, at least initially. We're going to see if that ball was deflected and now change the call.
Well, Sylvia Hatchell can't believe it. She's on the court. She thought there was a foul, then she thought there was a deflection.
Well, fourth quarter this has been for both sides. Janelle Bailey now with another double-double, her 12th of the season. She's been a machine in that department in her career so far. Easy basket, Kune.
What a job Kayla Jones has done coming into the game here in the fourth quarter. It's the 3rd consecutive play she's helped the Wolfpack to a 3-point lead.
Well, she has sparked NC State, much in the same way Jocelyn Jones did for Carolina in the second quarter. Here's Key, working her magic once again. 26 points for the senior Paris Key and a timeout on the floor. Two rivals getting after each other, and a good one brewing. Out of that 30-second timeout inside Carmichael Arena. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott. The score tells the story. A great rivalry matchup once again between State and Carolina. Well, a 1-point game nearly halfway through our fourth quarter.
North Carolina won the previous matchup where NC State had won 21 in a row. It was the only undefeated team, and North Carolina, in sold-out Reynolds Coliseum, went into Raleigh and won. And this is everything we expected this second matchup would be. A possession game. The play in the paint matters. Both coaches adjusting.
Announcers getting excited.
Trying to stay on this side of the railing, Roy. Trying to stay on this side.
Hey, be careful, because if you tumble over, it's a long ways down.
I know.
That's a third foul on Coonan. And Leslie, it's all net.
Smart. Bailey is not going to guard that.
Kiera Leslie, 19 points.
You just got to keep running to action to get Bailey in the switch. If you're NC State, you can score on that at the top of the floor every time.
Done it often in this contest so far. Backdoor cut, Key. Bothered on the shot. Jones gets it back, and she'll shoot a pair.
You know, that is the third time by my unofficial count that Paris Key has gone backdoor. First time, there was a bad pass, ball went off her foot. Second time she scored. Third time, she misses right at the rim. She's been making those plays all game for the Tar Heels. She's had a terrific afternoon.
At 26 points, Jones at the line, just 54% from the stripe this season. A couple of big ones here. We've had 6 ties, 15 lead changes so far. Jones missed a pair. Back to State. Pack have made their last 5 field goals. Leslie, one of the main reasons why. Didi Rogers hit the deck. In some pain. Leslie too strong.
Well, Didi Rogers looks like she's limping.
Bennett, big basket baseline. She's got 18.
Westmore just doesn't look at her, right? You can't take Didi Rogers out right now. You just don't look at her if you're the head coach.
And a foul against Bailey. That's going to be her 4th. That'll put Coonan at the stripe.
Really good take, good isolation by NC State.
Did you see the expression on Westmore's face? Just in agony, waiting for the final outcome of this one. 3:44 to go. And so many big moments this year for NC State and for Coach Moore. I want to get that win against your rival on the road, Debbie.
I spent some time with him yesterday. I went to a film session with the team. It was so detailed. They were so prepared. But the things that he told them were going to happen have all happened in the game today. He's so well scouted, North Carolina.
Bennett's had the hot hand. Paris Key has as well on cue, and it's on net. Tied at 64.
What a big shot by Paris Key, the only senior for North Carolina.
To shoot for the Pack.
I put Bailey in a ball screen right here. They're going to switch it.
Leslie, wide open pass. And the rebound claimed by Bailey. Carolina wants to go back in front. The dump off. Jones does it.
What a play. Paris Key had 30 in the upset win over Notre Dame in this building a few weeks ago.
Rogers ties it up at 66.
There's a senior for the Wolfpack saying, not yet.
Rogers with 8, back and forth we go down the stretch. Key wants it, takes it, and a chance for 3.
Wow, Paris Key. She has made every play. Yeah, Mom, get the guns out. Your baby's balling right here. Little pump fake, little hesitation, draws the contact. What a play by number 22.
And she'll draw the 4th personal on Kiera Leslie. Key has 31 points.
It's still a 1-possession game.
How much fun has this been? Kayla Jones, the runner.
Key with the steal. Got to stop the ball.
Coonan. A big miss there. The rebound controlled by Dee Dee Rogers.
Who's got what left in the tank right now, Roy?
State ties it up. Coonan the basket. She's got 12 and a timeout on the floor. Well, how much fun has this 4th quarter been between these two rivals? Both projected in the NCAA tournament. Right now, Charlie Creme has State as a 2 seed, Carolina as an 8 seed.
Well, North Carolina already has 2 wins over top 10 AP teams, Notre Dame and NC State. They have a remarkable resume. Their seeding opportunity could go up. NC State still playing for that double bye in the ACC tournament, and with their depleted depth, it would be best for NC State if they could hang on to that and be one of the top 4 finishers in the league. See, right now they are there, but they've got to play Miami and Louisville left on their schedule.
Well, a tough schedule down the stretch for the Wolfpack. Started the season at 21-0, we might add.
And Florida State plays Miami today. Florida State won the first outing between Florida State and Miami, and Florida State holds the tiebreaker over NC State because they won head-to-head.
Paris Key on senior day has scored 19 of the last 33 North Carolina points. She has 31 overall, directing traffic as we speak.
We've got to get Leslie off Paris Key, and Wes Moore adjusts and puts Dee Dee Rogers on Paris Key, which is a good adjustment by Coach Moore to try to keep Key in front, and he has to have Leslie on the floor.
.116 to go off the kickball violation. 15 to shoot for Carolina.
You put some more length on Paris Key. You try to affect her vision. You make her give it up. Don't let her get it back. There's a deny by Rogers.
Bailey double team. Can't finish. Less than a minute to play.
I'd put Bailey in a ball screen right here. All right, get Dee Dee Rogers to the elbow.
And here's Leslie. 10 to shoot. Off the screen. Count it!
Great call. Good set by the Pack.
7-second differential between the clocks. Key shot rejected, and the late whistle. Rogers just picked up her 4th. And that'll put Paris Key at the line with a chance to tie us up.
In film yesterday, Wes Moore said it time and time again, allow them to miss. I thought Dee Dee Rogers looked like, from our angle, she had terrific defense. A great defensive effort.
Key now 6 of 10 at the line. And that's a big miss. Parents looking on. Willie and Swanee. 1-point game, and now 31 seconds remaining. Let the chess match begin between these two sides, Debbie. As NC State in a great spot, and now Carolina likely forced to foul at this point.
Well, there's only a 1-second differential. I think North Carolina, we haven't seen them full court press yet today. We haven't seen them go to their trapping defense, which they're very capable of. But I think you go for a steal. You try to catch NC State in a trap. If you can force a 10-second violation. But I don't think you let any more than 10 seconds run off before you foul.
NC State 13 of 18 at the line today. Trying to avenge a loss just 3 weeks ago to this very same North Carolina team. Packed with 1 timeout remaining, North Carolina with 2.
Of course, NC State called timeout to advance the basketball. So I still say the same thing. 10 seconds. Try to get a trap. Try to get a steal.
Here we go. Leslie. Nearly stripped away by Jones.
Was that backcourt?
It was tapped into the backcourt, so I think that would nullify any potential violation and a quick foul with 23 and change remaining.
Well, that's what the officials are going to say, but certainly North Carolina's bench erupted thinking that there might have been a backcourt violation.
So the 4th foul on Coonan, excuse me. State not in the bonus yet.
They've got one more. The next foul will be the bonus for NC State.
Bailey's got 4 personals.
Well, she's going to have to foul.
And finally, Kayla Jones will head to the stripe on the foul by
Bailey,
Coonan. That'll be her 5th.
that's the right person to foul, though, if you're North Carolina, right? You want to put Kayla Jones on the line. You don't want Leslie or Koenig. North Carolina did a good job denying both those players the basketball.
So 2 free throws for Kayla Jones, Deb, who shoots just 50% at the line this season. Leah Church will check in as Coonan's day is officially done.
Church is a good 3-point shooter. Let's see what happens here. It's still a 1-possession game for the Tar Heels. And in the women's game, typically you don't have enough time to extend the game if they make both threes. But there is a chance that North Carolina, if they could get a quick 2. What a great job Jones has done in the 4th quarter. Couple of triples, an assist, and now she's got the free throws to make it a 3-point game.
Jones averaging 4.1 points per game coming in, has 12 today with those 2 enormous free throws to extend the lead back to 3. All right, so if you're North Carolina, Sylvia Hatchell, you do have some time to work with, but a chance maybe to go for the tying triple.
See, I think you run a play for the 3 because you advance the basketball. If it's available, you take it. If it's not, you drive it hard and you try to extend the game. Foul, put NC State back to the free throw line. The one thing North Carolina has is great backcourt speed. So they should be able to advance the basketball here and be able, since they've advanced the basketball, they should be able to find a 3, and if they don't have that, and NC State cannot commit a foul. You have to switch on everything. You got to make sure you do not foul the 3-point shooter if that's what North Carolina elects to do here.
Tar Heels 8 of 26 from bonus land today. Shayla Bennett has 4 of those 8 makes.
Roy, if I could get a direct line pass into Bailey right here on the out of bounds, that's what I would do. Right to the block, let her score, and then see if you can commit a quick foul. But look for Leah Church to get it back. She's their best 3-point shooter on the floor.
36% on the season is Church. Bennett on the inbounds. Has to hurry, and Shayla Bennett missed the layup, the rebound by Jones. And stripped away a whistle against Carolina. If that's Bailey, that's number 5, and it is.
It's a great look by Bennett. It's a terrific drive to the bucket. If she had made that, they would have had a chance to extend the game. Watch this right here. She's looking for the 3. She doesn't have it. She takes this shot with 10 seconds. Good rebound on the weak side by Kayla Jones.
Janelle Bailey fouls out with another double-double added to the resume, her 12th of the season. And the star of the show, at least in the second half, has been Kayla Jones off of Wes Moore's bench.
The question mark about NC State with all their injuries has been their lack of depth. And look at what Kayla Jones has done today for the Wolfpack.
Sophomore from Jamesville, North Carolina, one of the biggest performances of her young career. All 14 of her points scored in the second half. It's a 2-possession game here in Chapel Hill. So a timeout called by Carolina, and now the Tar Heels, Debbie, running out of time with just 7 seconds remaining, trailing by 5. Now don't forget, as soon as we're done here in Chapel Hill, Houston and Memphis, Dorian Branch getting warmed up as we speak. Averaging more than 20 points per contest in her last 6. This would take you deep into the heart of the American. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rivalry week continues as the Cougars and the Tigers get set to do battle.
NC State had a double-digit lead in the second half, and North Carolina made this thing a game. Paris Key had an unbelievable senior game. Scored, made plays defensively, made all the big shots for North Carolina. And on the other side, Wes Moore, surviving foul trouble. We know about the injuries all year. What great resilience by NC State if they can pull this one off.
Heels running out of time. Paris Key on senior day, 32 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists. Heels out of timeouts, and the steal, and that's going to do it. The steal by Rogers, and NC State finds a way on the road. 74-69, the final score to even up this season series at a game apiece.
Resilient, tough-minded, hard-fought, competitive rivalry game between NC State and North Carolina. North Carolina wins in Raleigh, and NC State wins in Chapel Hill. It's kind of the way things go around these parts.
No doubt about that along Tobacco Road. You just never know as NC State improves to 24-3. 11 wins now in the rough and rugged Atlantic Coast Conference versus just 3 setbacks. And North Carolina State, Debbie, just strengthened its resume that much more, already projected by Charlie Crane, our ESPN bracketologist, as a 2 seed in the upcoming dance.
Well, I think they've earned their 2 seed. I think they've had a fantastic run. This is a huge win on the road for their resume. It's not a bad loss for North Carolina to split with NC State. I thought the Wolfpack just made the plays, and the play of Kayla Jones. You know, this game is all about the legends in the rivalry, right? It's a legend in the making for Kayla to be able to come and have her best performance in this game. Huge win for NC State on the road.
Big week upcoming in the ACC. The updated standings look like this as State wins its 11th conference game of the season. North Carolina now at 8-7 in the league, 17-12 overall. 74-69 the final score. We'll send you to Memphis, Tennessee. That's coming up right after these messages as State finds a way here on the road.